Welcome to the Lawyers Who Care, the video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. On each episode, we'll meet a new lawyer and they will share stories of when they went above and beyond legal counsel for the benefit of their client. My name is Andrew Samalin. I'm the principal of Samalin Wealth, a nationally recognized wealth management firm for lawyers, law firms, and their clients. So let's applaud lawyers who care and learn from them. Today, my guest is Elizabeth Anderson. She specializes in estate planning and business planning with the Law Network PC in Centennial, Colorado. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Andrew. It's nice to be here.
Great to have you. So, Elizabeth, tell us about your firm.
Well, I'm a partner at the Law Network. Penny Myers and I are a local Denver-based estate and business planning law firm. We're an all-women's firm, and we kind of set ourselves apart because we like to put the pieces together. Most people are meeting with your attorneys when they're angry or maybe the worst part of their lives, but the fun part about estate planning is that we're really problem solvers. We kind of figure out what their needs are, and we get to, problem solve and prevent issues from happening in their future.
Is that the favorite part of your job?
It is. I really do enjoy it. I used to be in the court system. I used to fight all the time. And it's really nice kind of being on the opposite side, preventing those problems from ever happening.
But isn't at the family level sometimes some issues come up where it's not always chocolates and roses?
No, and life typically isn't. I think everybody, in every family that we meet, everybody has a unique dynamic, unique situation. And I think that's what's kind of fun about it. We get to make it all work based off of their needs and their dreams and desires. And
how did you come to the law?
Well, kind of backwards. I kind of fell into the law, actually. I never thought I would be an attorney. I wasn't one of those kids who dreamed of going to the courthouse or anything of that nature, but I actually studied engineering. I thought I was going to be a biomedical engineer. And it was really my last year of undergrad that I realized I don't want to be in a lab making plastics. That wasn't my calling, and I wasn't very passionate about it. And at the same time, I was on a research project looking at the use of off-label use of pharmaceutical meds. And it led me kind of down this path where I was reviewing legal documents. I was reviewing court cases and depositions. And I'm reading these documents and I thought, well, these guys aren't that smart. I can do this too. It seemed really fascinating. So I rolled all my engineering credits somehow into a chemistry degree so I could graduate on time and study for the LSAT. And somehow I got into law school and thinking I was going to study patent law or environmental law, using my engineering and science background. But my first job was with the courts and with a judge who specialized in cases protecting the elderly and the mentally ill and people who were developmentally disabled. And I just was hooked. This was, a calling. This was a real passion for me. These were the people that I wanted to help. And so that's kind of how, never thought I would go down this path. But that's, kind of how I ended up getting into estate planning. When I worked for the courts, we saw where all the problems lied because it was people weren't proactive. They didn't have these plans in place. So when I transitioned into private practice, that's my goal. I'm looking at these issues that these families have. I can see what will happen if they don't do some active planning. And because I've lived it, we were in the courts for, I worked for the courts for almost 7 years. So this is where in my private practice, I like to be that problem solver and prevent going to the court ever again for my client base.
Got it. Tell us about, first off, that's fascinating. And it's somewhat a circuitous route, but how wonderful that that the pieces fit together so well.
Yeah.
Tell us about a story that you went above and beyond.
Well, I every once in a while, a family really stands out, and one particular family just happened here in the past few weeks, kind of was a nice reminder of why we practice this type of law. A gentleman was recently retired. He's in his 60s, and was about to really enjoy his retirement years when he got a devastating diagnosis. He was diagnosed with cancer. It was caught late, and so he had a terminal diagnosis. The doctors gave him maybe 2 months to live. He was panicked, and it wasn't because he was dying. He was panicked because of his family, and especially his wife. His wife also in her 60s, still young, but she has some medical needs. She has a neurological disorder and starting to see some problems with mobility. And so his biggest concern was, well, what would happen? Who would take care of her? Do they have enough funds? And to be honest, he didn't really want to spend all of his retirement on long-term care costs. They have kids, and he wanted to make sure some of that legacy got to them as well. And I'm really give their financial advisor a lot of credit for issue spotting, seeing this and giving me a call immediately, because with that financial advisor's help, we were able to ensure that all of his assets had beneficiaries. Everything was going to pass to the wife without having to go to court. We wouldn't have to go through that dreaded probate proceeding. And then in addition to that, we took it to the next phase. We needed to make sure that she had an estate plan in place as well, and so that way we were able to kind of look at her future needs. And we did kind of a financial analysis with her. We were able to identify assets that we could tuck aside for the kids and for her future care needs. So what we ended up accomplishing was putting her home in a type of irrevocable trust so that it's Medicaid protected in 5 years in the event she does need to qualify for Medicaid long-term care. We were also able to identify some cash assets that we could put in a type of irrevocable trust. And when we were all complete, we had saved over $1 million for the kids, but we were able to make sure we had enough money, at least 5 years of care costs for the wife, in the event that, she needed assistance here in the next 5 years, and would have an easy time applying for Medicaid if she ever needed it. So the gentleman, it was a really quick process. To accomplish all of that, I was shocked. We were able, with the help of the financial advisor, we got everything done within 2 weeks. And 2 days later, the husband passed away. But he passed away with the comfort that everybody was taken care of. He didn't have to hold on anymore because he knew that his wife would have the care costs covered. She would have the assistance that she needs, but his children, their children would be able to use his legacy in their retirement years. So I know it's kind of a sad story because, my client did pass away, but it feels really good. We were able to give him peace of mind in his last days, but we also made, a lasting impression and legacy for his family.
That's incredible. Tell me, what were we most proud about that?
Well, I think it's just the fact that they had no one to turn to. They were so overwhelmed. And I think what I'm most proud of is that we were able to come in and be that support for them. My law firm, we're called the Law Network because we like to create that network around our clients. And we were able to use their team, to step in and be that integral kind of quarterback of the team to make sure the kids were there to help mom and dad, to make sure the financial advisor was on the same page as us. And it just felt really good because it was such a cohesive group. We were all working for the same goal, and we were there probably, in the toughest time for this family and providing them that support and peace of mind. They didn't have to worry about all of this paperwork. They didn't have to worry about, court proceedings and things like that because we handled it. We got rid of all of those what ifs and concerns.
Incredible job. You gave them peace of mind. I have a question. So, and by the way, thank you so much for your time today.
Of course.
Today, my guest is Elizabeth Anderson. She specializes in estate planning and business planning with the Law Network in Centennial, Colorado. Elizabeth, for those that want to contact you, can you give us your phone number twice, please?
Of course. So my phone number is 303-267-1111. And again, that's 303-267-1111.
Great. And the web address and where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, so my law firm, our web address is www.coloradoestateplanners.com. And so that's, again, coloradoestateplanners.com. But feel free to email me directly at my email is elizabeth@coloradoestateplanners.com. So it's just my first name, Elizabeth@coloradoestateplanners.com.
Got it. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. This has been the Lawyers Who Care podcast, the video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. And if you are an attorney or you know an attorney that would be appropriate for this podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at info@samalinwealth.com. That's info@samalinwealth.com. Again, my name is Andrew Samalin, and thank you again for joining us, Elizabeth. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Have a wonderful day.
And you. Have a great day, everyone.